Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial from Mechanism. In today's video I'm going to show you how to quadruple your ores and automate getting them. The first machine I'm going to show you is the osmium compressor, which requires 2 buckets, 4 infused alloy, 2 advanced circuits and 1 steel casing. And in the osmium compressor you can make refined obsidian ingots, which we're going to use. They require 1 refined obsidian dust and 1 osmium ingot to create the refined obsidian ingot. Next is the teleportation core, which is 4 lapis, 2 gold, 1 diamond and 2 atomic alloy. Now onto the real machines. The first machine is dimensional stabilizer, which requires 4 of the refined ingots, 2 ultimate control circuits, 2 atomic alloys and 1 block of diamond. And what this machine does is basically an advanced version of the anchor upgrade, which can only do the 1 chunk, but this one can do 5 by 5 chunks. You can either select which ones you want or click on the middle. You can also turn on visuals to show you which chunks are loaded and which are not. Next, there's the robot, which requires 2 refined obsidian ingots, 2 energy tablets, 1 steel ingot, 1 atomic alloy, and 1 personal chest. And you're also going to need a charge pad, which is 2 steel ingots, 3 polished blackstone pressure plates, and 1 energy tablet. And in order to place the robot, you have to click on the charge pad itself. You can't do it anywhere else. The robot has multiple options of what it can do. You can name it and change the appearance or teleport it back. And on this side you can tell it to pick up drops or to follow you. Next you have what it can do. So you can craft in it, you can check its inventory, you can smelt in it, and you can also use an anvil. And it also looks like it's really easy to kill, but when you hit it, it actually takes the power, and if you want to pick it up, you just destroy the charge pad and it drops. Next, we have the digital miner, which requires 1 of the robots, 2 logistical sorters, 2 atomic alloys, 2 teleportation cores, 1 steel casing and 1 basic control circuits. And what it does is you can set it to mine different things. There's 3 options in the basic menu, which is auto eject, which automatically makes it put it into a chest. Next there's auto pull, which takes from a chest if you want to replace the thing it mines. And then there's silk touch, which makes it use more power, but basically silk touch. Next you have this config menu, where you can set filters of what you want to make, and here you can change the radius of how far you want to mine it. Here is how long in the ground you want to mine it, and here is how high you want to mine it. And then there's inverse mode, which makes it basically mine anything that it's not in the filter. Next you can place, for example, cobblestone here if you wanted to replace the blocks. Now I recommend getting a configuration card, which is just 4 infused alloy and 1 basic circuit, which allows you to basically copy the settings and then place it into a different one, since you will have to move these regularly once you mine out the area, and this makes it a lot easier. Now onto the quadrupling. So the first thing you're going to need is the thermal evaporation plant, which is a multi-block structure. In order to make it, you're going to need thermal evaporation blocks, which is 4 steel and 1 copper. Then you can use structure glass, which is 4 steel and 1 glass. Then you're going to need at least 1 controller, which is 5 thermal evaporation blocks, 2 advanced circuits, 1 glass pane and 1 bucket, and then at least 3 of these valves, which is 4 thermal evaporation blocks and 1 advanced circuit. Now, how to build it? The smallest one you can make is a 4x4, that's always. Then you're going to need to make the pillars at least 3 blocks high. They have to be from the evaporation blocks. Then you can fill the sides with either structure glass or the thermal evaporation blocks. On the sides you also put the controller and the valves. 2 of them are going to be used for input and output liquids, and the last one is going to be to input heat. Now, if you finish the build, if you made it correctly, it should do redstone particles. See? This is, I believe, the smallest one you can make. I made a bigger one here and I'm going to show you how to operate it. What you're going to need to operate it is also a heat generator of some kind. You can either make a fuel wood heater, which is 5 steel, 2 furnaces, 1 steel casing and 1 basic control circuit. And then there's the resistive heater, which is 4 tin, 3 redstone dust, 1 steel casing and 1 energy tablet. So, the resistive heater uses power to operate. You can set how much you want to use. And the fuel wood heater, as it says, requires wood. So, if you place some wood in, you can see that it starts to use it up and increase the temperature, which if you open this, you can see that also going up. Then in the resistive heater, it just starts using energy. You can increase it manually. I recommend getting the resistive heater since this one has a limit of how high it can go, but the only limit in this one is how much power you can make. Now, what you're going to want to do is get a water source and then pump it in through the valve. And then if you look inside, you can see that it starts generating brine, which is what you want. And as you can see now, it's not actually generating any, it's actually going down. So what you need to do is either keep it supplied with wood, which I believe makes it around 10 millibuckets per tick, or you can set it to use more power. So for example, 500 ticks is generating 40 and it's still going up. It takes some time to actually get to the max production, but once it does, it starts generating quite a lot. So now I placed a fluid tank here to store it all, and as you can see, it's going up quite fast. And now onto the real production. What you're going to need is another machine called the chemical injection chamber, which is for a reinforced alloy, 2 gold ingots, 2 elite control circuits, and 1 purification chamber. You're also going to need a chemical infuser, which is for infused alloy, 2 basic chemical tanks, and 2 basic control circuits with a steel casing. Now, this is kind of a basic setup, you can make it a lot better, but this is just to show you. So first, you're going to pump water into the electronic separator, which we showed off last video, which generates hydrogen and oxygen. Then you're going to pump the brine from the plant into another electronic separator, which creates sodium and chlorine, which is what we want. Then you need the chemical infuser, which uses hydrogen and chlorine to create hydrogen chloride, which you then place into the chemical injection chamber. That then creates some shards, which then get put into the purification chamber, which uses the oxygen from before to create clumps, which you then crush to make dirty dust. Then you enrich it to make normal dust, and then you just smelt it in order to create iron ingots. I'm going to show you the whole process step by step now. So it creates shards, then clumps, then dirty dust, then normal dust, and then it creates ingots. So you get 4 ingots per every iron ore you put in. And this is where I'm going to end this video. Hope it helped. There's also a way to trip 5 times your ores, but that's going to be a lot 8 game, because you're going to need multiple of these setups for each ore. So this is going to be the end. Bye guys.